I remember back in the day, 2011, I had just was like 9 or 8 or something like that, and my brother got his 3DS for the very first time. And seeing the 3D in person was actually really cool. The following year, my uncle got a 3D TV. Required glasses, but a 3D TV. And a fresh new Netflix subscription that supported limited 3D movies. There was like 3 of them, but really cool stuff, and started getting like 3D movie DVDs from Blockbuster. Before that went away shortly after. It was a very cool technology, something that you could only experience in the theaters. But as time went on, it really lost its luster. It caused me many a headache when I eventually got my very own new 3DS XL later down the line. And having the 3D on for any amount of time gave me a freaking migraine, so I couldn't really handle it. So color me surprised when I got a comment about this handheld a couple weeks ago, and now it's almost fully out, coming out later this month, from a company that I've never really heard of before, and their name confuses and frustrates me. The Abxylute 3D1. This is a PC handheld that is gonna be very expensive and be maybe worth it if you're the particular kind of enthusiast this might be for, but it is essentially a upsized Legion Go 2 with Intel chipset and a 3D glasses-free 3D display. It's really cool in concept, but I don't see the practical benefits of having 3D. In certain games, I can definitely see it being very cool. Like Battlefield 6 could be actually really just amazingly cool in concept, but I don't know if it's going to be worth it. 3D displays are incredibly expensive. This thing is going to be about like $1,700 for one of the top end SKUs. And I just don't see a world where you're getting a ton of value for your money. Sure, it is a pretty nice 1440p 10-inch, almost 11-inch display. That's really cool and all. But when your processor is an Intel 258V, I don't think you're gonna really get to utilize the whole, 1440p of the whole screen. You can certainly play those really fun 3D titles maybe, but I don't see a world where you're going to really enjoy it. And on top of that, it's only a 50 watt-hour battery when we're starting to see handhelds with 80 plus watt-hour batteries with like the Legion Go 2 and the Xbox Ally. So seeing a handheld with a sub 60 kinda sucks, especially considering how physically large this device is. And it takes a lot, and I mean a lot, of influence from the Legion Go. Detachable controllers, similar kind of kickstand, square glass top trackpads, but instead of one, there's 2. So instead of copying the Legion Go, it's copying the Steam Deck. But don't get me wrong, I love it when people copy the best feature from the Steam Deck. It is just a little bit lazy. And on top of that, coming with stock Windows 11, it's not going to be a horrible experience. Definitely manageable, and as Microsoft slowly expands the program to allow this like home screen Xbox UI stuff we're seeing with the Xbox Ally really come out to other handhelds now. Right now it's limited to I think other MSI devices or something. I'm not entirely sure, but it's coming to other things slowly. So maybe one day you'll be able to get to use that amazing front end experience for this handheld, but as it currently stands, no, you're getting box standard Windows, 1TB SSD, micro SD card slot. I just don't see a world where this is particularly interesting outside of its 3D display. It's a cool idea and concept, but it's either going to give a ton of people headaches or playing games with it isn't going to be particularly fun. A lot of these games, especially if you go look back at the 3DS, had built and designed their games with the 3D in mind, utilizing it in such a way that it actually enhances the gameplay other than just, ooh, it's slightly sticking out. It could be a really cool feature, but this is such a small company. I don't really see any developer going out of their way to make a profile or re-render or change how the game renders to make it look better in 3D. it's just going to be playing the normal games with a slight depth of field effect. I don't see how that's going to be particularly fun, and especially considering how much you're going to be paying for this thing, it's just a really big ask for people to want to spend their money on this thing, especially when you are at such a high price point. $1,700 for one of the higher end configurations. Being that expensive necessitates comparisons to similarly priced handhelds, and depending on what you're into, whether that's 1X player, GBD, IE Neo, you could end up with a GPU CPU combo that will just destroy this thing. And at 10.95 inches, essentially 11-inch screen, you're at the point where this is not a portable device. It is a small laptop, and you're better off just getting a laptop. At $1,700, you can get an amazing gaming laptop. This isn't a good justification. This should have just been a laptop. At 11 inches, that is a big device. And I already thought the Legion Go 2 and the Legion Go 1 were really big and on that very edge of portability. Something that's essentially 3 inches larger, I seriously don't see a world where people are taking this everywhere they go. It's not. And if you're already limited by not being able to take it everywhere, just like a normal gaming laptop would be anyways, and you're paying $1,700 for it, just get a gaming laptop at that point. I don't know what else to say. It is a really cool idea. Maybe if it was a similar price, maybe if it was smaller, maybe if it had a better battery, I would have cared less. But it is just kind of underwhelming in certain parts and bad in others and really cool in some, but I just don't see a world where anybody would seriously consider this. It is so specific, it's so niche that I don't see this company selling any more than maybe a couple hundred units. And on top of that, after sales support is probably going to be horrendous, primarily because 1, probably a small company, 2, didn't sell a ton of these things, and 3, they probably had already moved on to the next one. Anyways, people like to point out the after sales experience for a ton of these more boutique manufacturers that I talk about, and it's true. That is one of the things that you have to be prepared to deal with if you go with a non-mainstream manufacturer. This comparison could either be really, really good or just the worst. So I really wouldn't want to risk putting my money into something that may be a horrible time. It's a really cool idea. I keep stressing that. I don't like to shit on products that I haven't directly utilized yet. But from what I've seen on paper, seen people talk about, the things that this is offering, just that alone is enough for me to go, you probably shouldn't buy it. It's way too expensive. It's a frankly meaningless fun feature that was really popular 12 years ago and has died. And I don't think anybody's really cared about glasses-free 3D in a very, very long time. We tried this already and it didn't work out. I'm not entirely sure if they're including this in the full retail unit, but a lot of the people I've seen talk about it and who've gotten their hands on one all have included this folio keyboard cover with a trackpad and stuff. It's kind of obvious that this isn't being marketed as solely just a handheld, and for that, yeah, it makes a ton of sense. But if you're already sort of committing to the idea that this isn't entirely just a handheld, it is a laptop, a small laptop that you can put controllers on and play as a handheld, just get a gaming laptop at that point. You're so close to just circling back to where you started. It's like, come on, just get a laptop. It's $1,700 for some of the configurations for this thing. Future Jacob here. I was reading and getting a ton of my information from this Tech Radar article and a few other places, and after finally finding their actual website and looking at the Kickstarter and stuff, the full retail price, there's seemingly only one configuration, according to the actual website, not the Kickstarter, and the full retail for it is going to be $1,800. And honestly, no, just no. These guys make some really cool stuff, whether that's controllers, grips, other handheld accessories and whatnot. They make some really cool stuff. It is clear that they're like a very gamer aesthetic in the sense that like ABXY, that's how like the gaming on your controller, but instead of Abxylute spelled correctly, it's ABX, it's a whole thing. But it's really interesting, but I just don't see at all how this is something that most people should be buying. It reminds me of the Techno Pocket Go that I reviewed beginning of this year, end of last year. And it was a really cool handheld. It was a super duper cool idea and concept, but it never came out. For all I know, it's still being worked on. I have never heard from that company. And this feels like the exact same thing. This is a really freaking cool idea and concept, but I do not see a world where people would actually want something with glasses-free 3D ever. For gaming purposes, probably not. I don't see it being practical. This was a way too negative of a video, and I got really a lot more negative at the end, knowing that it's costing $1,800 at full retail. This is ridiculous. I'd love to hear what you guys think about it though. Are you at all interested in this device? Do you even care about glasses-free 3D? Have I just been missing this entire trend this entire time? Has I just been flying under the radar for me? I would love to hear what you guys think about this down below. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. All the other social media garbage down below. And last but not least, have a wonderful day.